Kevin, Catherine, and Jack. All right, let's do some silk reeling. Head turns. And center, and right ear up. And relax, and left ear up. And relax, and right ear again. And relax, and left ear again. And relax back to center. Cross the hands on the chest. Raise the chin. And relax. Drop the chin to the chest. Tuck it in and raise the back of the neck. And relax. Cross the hands on the chest again. Raise the chin. And relax. Drop the chin to the chest. Tuck it in and raise the back of the neck. And relax back to center. Head rolls. And down to center and reverse. And down to center and back up. Forward spinal wave. And reverse. And good. And the quad. And reverse. Belly rolls. And reverse. And good. The grindstone. And reverse. And all the way. And reverse. And good. So you guys remember yesterday we were talking about when you do certain moves and say you're moving out in front of yourself like this. So I'm moving out in front of myself. something needs to be going backward when you do that. The same is true with that exercise that we just did. There, there are actually two exercises there. On the first exercise, there's a circle in front of you, all right? It's kind of like this lid. There's a circle in front of you, and you're going around and around that circle. But as you do that, you need to be going around and around your own waist because that's what powers it. So as your hands go out, you have to be going backward in the waist. All right. So my hands, let's say I'm going to start on the left and I'm going to go to the right. So I'm going out on the left here, but inside in my daimai, I'm going backward into say the back hip here, and then as I come across here, right, I might be coming across the back, and then when I come in, I'm coming around here. And then as I go across here, I'm going across the belly. So it's the back, the side, the belly, the side, the back, the side, the belly, the side. Does that make sense? You know, can you? Catherine, it doesn't make any sense. Remember that something.
What you explain is clear. It's just that my body doesn't get it.
Well, it will if you keep doing the exercises. But you get, hopefully you get the basic idea, at least intellectually. If I'm going to draw a circle out in the air like this, I need to be drawing the opposite circle sort of behind myself, so to speak. Well, I can't really draw behind myself because I'm in front here. But what I'm drawing it with is really my daimai. The daimai runs 360 degrees all the way around. So as I push out here, it's going back. It's going back into my hip here. So I'm pushing out here, it's going backward. And then as I come across, all right, it's also coming across, but it's in my back. So I push out into my left back hip, and then I come across my lumbar, my lower back, and then I'm going to pull in, and as I pull in, it's going to come forward. All right? And then I'm going to go across, and that goes across the belly. Kevin, does it make sense?
Yeah, the exercise I used to do to try to figure this out was I'd push against a wall and I would use my hands only and it would push me backward.
Yes, exactly.
But if I would push into my back at the same time I pushed out, I exerted a lot of force forward.
Exactly. Catherine, does that help a little bit?
Yeah, it does. It does. I understand it with my head and my mind. It's just that it's
it takes a little while in the body. Jack,
yeah.
What do you think?
I think if you keep imagining it, you will eventually feel it.
You will eventually do it. Um, once it sort of gels out and you start to feel it, the feeling gets very strong. All right. I'll tell you what. Let me try to draw this pattern on the blackboard and see whether that helps. Oh, okay. Well, I forgot. The blackboard is previously occupied. So, I mean, maybe the way to understand it is that there are two circles. One of them is in front, and one of them is behind. And as I as I as I come forward on this circle here, I have to be going back on this circle here. As I come across the front here, I go across the back here. As I come in toward my body here, I come in toward my body here. As I go across my tummy, I also go across my tummy. Does that help a little bit? It's like a figure eight.
Yeah,
This,
I have troubles imagining those two circles, but I do understand what I should feel.
what's going on, right?
Yeah.
So the maybe the difficulty in understanding this is this circle is in front of you, and it's being created. You're sort of drawing it with your hands here, right? This circle's actually inside you.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
this is your daimai, right? That goes
okay,
around your whole waist, right?
okay. Mhm. Thanks.
This may seem like a little thing, but it's really how Tai Chi works, and it's actually how Qigong works too. It's like um, if you want to do something on the outside, you have to do it on your inside. Right? Jack, yes, I like it. Um, Imagine that you're drawing a circle out here, but you don't do it on the inside. What good does it do? It's just empty, right? But suppose you draw it on the outside, but you're actually drawing it on the inside. Now you've got something. Now something's going on inside yourself.
Hey, Malcolm.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the exercises we do, for some reason, it comes into my head of gears. Gears,
Yes.
but gears without the hard teeth, more
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
pressure. So
Yeah.
like the circles move, but also like inside a very small gear moving faster and outside it moves slower.
Yes, exactly. And maybe I know what you mean about the teeth. It's kind of a little bit like the way they used to run steam engines with canvas belts, right? The belt would essentially act as a gear, right? It's kind of like that. That's right. Now, when you do this second exercise, right? Where right, you're coming around like this. Okay, that's a little a little different, but only because of the positioning. So when you're doing that one, you've got the circle that's inside your waist. Okay, now I hate it when that happens. The camera goes wonky. There it goes. Okay, so one of the circles is inside your waist. The other circle is right on top of it. It's not out in front of it, it's on top of it, and it's bigger. So you're still drawing this one with your hands, so to speak, but they actually have the same axle. When one is in front and one is inside, there are two axles, right? One axle is in front and one axle is inside your body. But the second one, they're actually the same axle. All right? So it's in your center. It's actually your chongmai. Turn. Okay, there's a big circle going on. but it's actually going on all the way around me, so to speak. Well, that's the same as my daimai. It's just bigger, right? And I'm still creating it in the same way. So actually, we're going to talk more about this on Saturday morning. Last Saturday, we started the Earth Body, Your Body series, and we focused on the Dan Chen. This Saturday, 2 days from now, we're gonna focus on the Chongmai, the rotational axis of the body, which is really what we're talking about here. And then, as you could say, to empower the rotational axis, you have the daimai that goes around in a circle. So we're going to start with the rotational axis on this Saturday. We'll probably do these exercises. And then the next Saturday, we're going to talk about the daimai. So those are the three components that are maybe the most important in the energy body, is the dantian, the chongmai, and the daimai. Those three pieces. Okay, right. So all the way from the bottom of the foot, and then you're turning this big circle. Bottom of the foot, big circle. Bottom of the foot, big circle. Now, I keep saying bottom of the foot. That's just because I want you to pay attention to the bottom of the foot. You've got to root yourself into the ground when you do an exercise like this. But what you're actually doing is it's like there's a big disc and it goes all the way around you, 360 degrees. So what you're really doing is grabbing the disc here and spinning it all the way around. And then you go back and you grab it again and you spin it all the way around. All right? Just remember, when you do something like that, you gotta ground yourself. If you're gonna grab something here and move it all the way over here, you gotta ground yourself in that foot. Or reverse. And I ground myself in the right foot. And it goes from the right foot to the left foot. Right foot to the left foot. One of the other things you want to do, I was thinking about this morning, we haven't talked about this in a long time. One of the other things you want to do when you do this exercise, and any exercise like it, including any Tai Chi move, is you want to be in a horse stance. What that means very specifically all right, there are my knees, all right? This is what you do not want to do. Watch. You don't want this knee to fall in. Now, I was exaggerating a little bit, but you don't even want it to fall in very subtly, right? So watch. You don't want that. it's not good for your knee, right? What you want is for it to stay open. The knee is comfortable when you do that, and you also get strength out of that leg. So you have to practice staying in a horse stance. The way to do that is to open your toes up a little bit, open your knees up a little bit, right? So they're not going straight forward. They're going out at 45 degrees. And that opens your pelvis, and then you sit down like you're sitting on a horse. And now, when you do this exercise, you keep that. So even when I'm over here, my leg is not falling in. It's still staying open. Makes sense? Think about if you were on a horse, you couldn't have your leg fall in because the horse is in the way, right? You've got a 1,200-pound animal that's in the way. Your leg has to stay open. You go, well, why would you turn around on a horse? Well, think about the Mongolian warriors riding their horses, right? And shooting their arrows backward. That's exactly how they did it. This is really where the horse stance came from, is an understanding that your foundation has to be solid at all times. So you practice that. Just practice having a horse down there. Or reverse. Now, when you practice in a horse stance, you're going to get a lot more exercise because your biggest muscles are your thighs and your butt muscles. And so when you're in a little bit of a horse stance, right, you've got to flex those muscles all the time. And that's where 80% of your exercise comes from, not from your hands. Right? Jack, that cat really likes you.
I know he doesn't have his buddy anymore because his buddy died. So he's
Oh,
very needy.
yeah. Okay. Uh, let's recapitulate that those two exercises we did last time, because they also work in horse stances, right? That's a horse stance. You don't want this to happen. It almost feels like your knee's going to break, right? Keep that knee open. Good, Catherine. Or cloud hands. Watch. When you push out, watch my forearm. It's twisting. Maybe that's the wrong. I'll put it on the seam here, see if that works better. Not really. That's better. All right, your forearm lines up with your center line. More or less. It's lined up with the center line. Both of them twist. This one twists because this one is twisting. And you'll notice that one is going clockwise and the other and forward, and the other one's going counterclockwise and backwards. It's exactly the same as those two circles we talked about earlier. All right. If you want to drive your forearm forward, something has to go back. So this is going to go forward and this is going to go back. If I want this to twist clockwise to the right, then something needs to twist clockwise to the left. So when you are doing this exercise, that's the actual exercise. That's what you're trying to get your body to learn. Now, it's an absolute natural thing for your body to do. All right? So once you get the idea about what it is you're supposed to do, it's very natural for your body to do it. So it's just, you kind of got to get that idea in your head, what you're trying to do. That's your shin yi. Right? And then practice it. Right? And then we could go out and go forward, and then we're doing silk reeling or doing cloud hands. Right? But it's the same thing. It goes forward, and then it goes across. Same thing on the other side. Forward, 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 and across. And you want to learn this for the same reason that you want to learn everything like this. You want to power it from your center line, from the Dantian and from the Chongmai in the center. Because if you don't do that, you will end up powering it from your shoulders. And your shoulders just are not strong enough to do these things. All right? So instead, the whole center line moves. So, Kevin, you're my go-to science guy. What's the formula for power again?
Mass times acceleration.
Mass times acceleration. All right. If you're only using your arm, that's not very much mass. If you're using your whole body, that's a lot of mass. What about acceleration? We, us civilians who are not engineers or scientists, tend to think that what acceleration is you're in your car, you step on the gas, it zooms ahead, and you sort of go back because you're feeling that acceleration. The car's accelerating straight ahead. And that's true. But there's another kind of acceleration. It's just as much acceleration as moving ahead. And that's rotational acceleration. If you change your direction, that's also acceleration. So when you spin, you're accelerating. It doesn't mean you're going faster. It means you're changing direction. So your power depends on your mass times your acceleration. If the acceleration is rotational, it still counts. You still get that bump up. So it's your mass, your weight times that acceleration. All right? If you just think of acceleration as front or back, well, then you have to think of hitting really, really fast. Well, there's some truth to that. But if you're rotating while you do it, you get the benefits, the power benefits of acceleration without moving faster. Because you're just changing direction. Catherine, does that make sense?
No, not yet.
It will. The way that you move in Chen style Tai Chi and Hunyan Tai Chi is called silk reeling, right? You're moving in spirals. Spirals are all about changing direction all the time. You're always changing direction. The whole body is spiraling. That's a form of acceleration multiplied times your own mass. If you're just using your arm, well, then it's multiplied times 20 pounds. If you're using your whole body, then it's multiplied by 250 pounds. If you happen to be 250 pounds, all right? So that's how it works. You get more power out of silk reeling than if you don't use silk reeling, all right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the silk reeling exercises we do are all about that, which means, all right, you need to pay attention to the spiraling, and you need to pay attention to the reverse motions, because that's how you develop the spirals. All right? If I'm spiraling here like this, all right? If I'm pushing out, something's going back. If I'm coming across, it's going across to my other side, to my right side over here. Then it comes out and it goes across again. All right? It's a circle. The two circles are going like this. All right? They're going like this. They power each other. That's the actual exercise. If you just move in the air without thinking about anything and without directing your chi, then you're just doing empty Qigong. Empty, there's nothing in there. That's not the exercise. All right? Because it's not the physical exercise, it's the mental and the energetic exercise that really count. And then the physical will come along with it. Questions? Okay, we'll pick this up again Saturday morning when we talk about the Zhongmai, the central axis of the body. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.